Hey, this is Keith the G. I just wanted to talk with everybody about just some things you learn after you've been around on this planet for a while, and just from OG to these youngsters or whoever may need to hear this, because it ain't no telling what I may talk about. But what I want to talk about is ownership. Ownership is a very important thing, okay? But I think we just got to understand what ownership means. Most people think the only thing ownership means is that you got to buy, you buy a house, that's owning something. You buy a car, that's owning something, something tangible. We only think that owning something, it has to be something tangible. But the first step to owning something tangible is to own stuff or something mentally. Taking mental ownership, okay, of your life. That's where ownership starts. Taking mental ownership will lead you to the point where you can start actually having physical ownership of things in life that you want. So that word ownership is huge. And it's actually empowering, because you own more than you even think you do. You may not have a house or a car right now, but if you got mental ownership and you own all your mistakes and you own all of your accomplishments, man, that's the part of life that money can't buy. You have to before you can get the things that money can buy, you got to master the things in life that money can't buy. Just remember this. Remember this. If it happens to you, it's because of you. If it happens to you, it's because of you. If you can keep that in mind, I don't care if something good or bad. If you trace that shit back to its core, it's something that you either did or didn't do, but it has something to do with you. This shit ain't flukes. Flukes don't happen in life. You can't sit there in front of some wishing well, or sit there on the floor with your eyes closed and just wish and hope things happen. You have to make things happen. And you heard that. We don't have to talk about that. Everybody knows that. But I'm talking about really, you got to really know that. Not just, well, I heard it before. It sounds good and I've heard that before. People always say that. But I'm talking about really understand that concept. And when you can do that, that's when things in life start to materialize. When you start taking ownership, when you have mental ownership 100% in your mind and in your heart, you'll start seeing things in life start to transpire, and you'll start seeing yourself taking physical ownership of some of those things in life that you want. The nice houses, the nice cars, the nice trips, all of those things. And I've made a lot of money in my life, but I wish I had it now. I don't have it now. But I've made money in my life. But the minute I start making money was when I start taking mental ownership. That comes before physical ownership. And you have to do things that's within your reach. Everybody spend time thinking about lofty dreams, if I only had this, or if things was like this, or if this happened, if the world was square instead of round, if it rained instead of snowed, if Obama was still president, it's always something in your way. It's always, if something happens, then this can happen. Now you letting all these bullshit in life hold you hostage, and this shit remains a pipe dream. You got to look at where you're at in life, what you have in life, and then you build from there. Those are the steps. It ain't, you see all these gurus on TV, get rich quick and all this other bullshit. All of that bullshit, the bottom line to all that shit about the get rich quick, get rich later, however you want to call it, the bottom line of all that shit is your mentality. Your mental state is how you interpret this shit called life. When you do stuff, if things don't turn out like you want, you don't look at those things as losses. You look at those things as lessons. Those are lessons. You in school. When you do something and the shit don't work, and you find out that there's a different way, a better way, or it need to be done a certain way, that's the lesson. You didn't lose. And a lot of times you get a chance to go right behind yourself, correct those things, and then things start happening, and then you get what it is that you're looking for. So you don't look at anything as a loss, you look at it as a lesson. And when you do that, you don't defeat yourself. That's how you find the motivation within yourself to keep on moving. And that's how you don't beat yourself up and call yourself a loser, start thinking yourself as a loser. Never in my life, ever since I was a kid, never have I done shit and shit didn't turn out my way just like anybody else. I done struggled just like everybody else on this planet. But you know what? One thing I can say is I never thought of myself as a loser. Ever. I don't care what happened. I never felt like I was a loser. Always knew I had something better. I always knew I had more. Always knew I had things. And I knew I always had stuff coming. And I always felt like a winner. And I always felt like I could win. I never felt like a loser. And I ain't never went into no predicament feeling like some loser. Now, have I tried things that didn't work? Yeah. But I learned from them. And boy, later on in life, when you see that wisdom kick in, and you see when you trace back on that knowledge that you got when that time, the things didn't turn out like you wanted to, and you were strong enough not to look at it and tell yourself you was a loser, you looked at it as a lesson, that shit came back full force where I was able to apply that same shit that may have happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. But that gain I got from it came back to me, and I was able to succeed from it or accomplish whatever it is that I went after. But it all starts with, if it happens to you, it happens because of you. Say it. If it happens to you, it happens because of you. It's empowering. That lets you know you got more control over this thing called life than you even know. You've been walking around insecure, fucked up, thinking you need this or you need that. If somebody give you some money, if only if somebody did this, if only this happened. Man, you've been in control all this time and didn't even know it. You just needed somebody to point that shit out to you. Well, that's what Keith2top just did. That's what I just did. You're not no loser. You don't take losses. You learn lessons. So, bottom line is this. The game to this thing called life It's keeping your mind right. It's never looking at things as a loss, look at it as a lesson. And if it happens to you, it's happening because of you. Bad relationship, it's happening because of you. You get money, it's happening because of you. You fucked up and got no money, it's because of you. That's you. You got to own that. I'm talking about when you stop looking at this video, and I got friends of mine that have seen my videos, but I got friends of people they never see my video. You never see me again in life. Never see one of my videos again in life. Don't you ever forget, if it happens to you, it's because of you. Take ownership, mental ownership. That's the first step to physical ownership. You got to take responsibility for the shit you do right, and you got to take responsibility for the shit you do wrong. And it's okay to pat yourself on the back, and it's okay to whoop on yourself a little bit. But you don't do it to the point of demotivating yourself or destroying yourself. But you are in control. It's empowering to know that you got that much control. You in control. Wow. Did you even know that? Guys out there trying to get certain girls trying to get guys. Man, that's easy. You in control of that shit. You know what I'm saying? You in control of that shit. You take mental ownership. You be confident and move towards those things in life that you want to do. And you'll be surprised how the universe works for you. You'll be surprised how the universe responds. You do that shit one time. You do that shit one time that I'm telling you, and you'll never turn back and never do anything else again. You say, man, that Keith the G was right. He was 100% right. I'm telling you, I done made so much motherfucking money by not accepting no, by if the shit don't go the first way the first time like I expected to, take them lessons I learned, tweak it, and go back at it, and get what it is get whatever it is that I'm going after. So many times, and I just sat by myself and thought, man, I'm glad, God, I'm so glad you gave me this initiative, God. I'm so glad you blessed me with initiative and enough oomph in me and enough strength in me to accept this shit. Whatever it is good, whatever this is bad, it is what it is. Let's go to work. It's time to get what it is that you after. First step, mental ownership. That's it. That's it. That's the word of the year from Keith the G. I'm telling you, mental ownership comes before physical ownership. And you got to get, and whatever it is that you're going after in life, just know that you got to get one before you get two. And know you got to get two before you can get three. You got to get three before you can get four. But it all starts from that very first one that you go after. But just know that you got to keep making them steps. And don't bite off more than you can chew. But when you find out what it is that you can chew, you got to bite it off and you got to chew it. But it's picking that amount. How much am I biting off and how much can I chew? That's that secret. I'm telling you. So get that shit down in life, man. You just from an OG. I don't care. I don't know what age you are, whoever listened to this, but I'm a 62-year-old man. And I've learned things whether I wanted to or not. I've learned things in spite of myself. But I'm telling you, you do that shit, you take mental ownership, I don't care what it is, you own it. You're having a bad relationship, own it. But own that good relationship too. Pat yourself on the back too. It's okay to speak highly of yourself or think highly about yourself. So, hey, I'm going to let you go again. This is Keith the G. But that's the word of the year. Mental ownership. That's step one. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. And tune in, subscribe to my channel. Because ain't no telling what I may talk about. And see, I get these spirits inside of me, man. I want to talk about, it all depends. You never know what I may talk about. But I felt like somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that. Because that shit worked. And I ain't talking about something that I read on a Grant Cardone video. I'm talking about some shit that I lived. This is some real life garden variety, actual field conditions, real life shit. Own what happens to you in life. And that's it. Keep the G.